But in this particular case, Laurent's experience worked to his favor as a leader, in this example.
Yeah, I mean, Callum Nicholas actually, he said it on this podcast, how great Max is with feedback to the engineers and understanding the impact it's going to have around the car. And actually, when I talked to GP at the beginning of this year, I mean, that was one of the things that kind of it stood out for him right from the start, was just the way that he was, he's got so much capacity, hasn't he, Nico, that he can, it's spare capacity when he's driving. We see it so often. That they almost have to rein him in, but with feedback, he's almost peerless in that front as well. He's got so much experience, and he can talk like an engineer to the engineers, like you did a little bit. That was one of your strengths, right?
It was, yes. And I also like to hear how Crofty, who lives right on Cranfield Airport and has learned to identify the loud noise from Max Verstappen's airplane. And Crofty has confirmed that Max Verstappen is very often at the Red Bull headquarters, and very often, therefore, also in the simulator. So also a bit of a learning for me today, how that he's really someone who has a good work ethic and still is keeping on pushing hard together with the team to keep winning, which was great to hear.
Yeah, but to put that into context, Max's jet is the loudest that lands at the small little airfield that is Cranfield. And thank you very much, Nico Rosberg, for revealing exactly where I live on the podcast.
Well, he didn't give a number or a street name. I've got that here if you want it.
Yeah, you have, because you sent me something this week. But I'll send everyone round your house. Although you've probably got people on the doors.
You could invite everybody now to like an open barbecue or something at your place.
I've got a brand new barbecue. You're more than welcome.
When the fish and chip van turns up at your house every Friday, Crofty, that might give it away as well.
The fish and chip van knows where I live. That is for sure.
So the producer here has already just wrote, "I'll cut out the location, Crofty, smiley."
Yeah. Crofty lives nowhere near Cranfield Airport. Yeah. Can we just pick up on one lovely story as well? That you might have picked up on if you are a follower of all motorsport and look at the websites and the press around it. But Max, and we heard about it the weekend as well, driving the Nordschleife this weekend, is going to the Nürburgring to compete in the endurance series, the GT car. But he's got to get his German permit for the Nordschleife from the German Motorsport Federation, with which he has to pass an exam on Friday. That will afford him a Category B permit, so he can drive the Porsche Cayman in his GT4 CS. If he gets two results, he gets his A permit, unless the panel decides in one race he's good enough, in which case he'll then get to drive the Ferrari 296 GT3 on the second day, but not under his alias as Franz Hermann. He has to do as Max Verstappen to get the permit.
What are the questions on this exam? What's your name? Max Verstappen. Congratulations, you've got a permit.
I mean, I don't know is the answer. And in fact, if anyone from the German Permit Association is watching or listening to this podcast, perhaps you could send us the kind of. I'd love to know what's on that. I mean,
does Nico have a German permit?
23 spec Haas during a test at Mugello on Friday. Grosjean's Haas was engulfed in flames when he crashed through the barriers on the opening lap of the Bahrain Grand Prix in 2020, leaving him with extensive burns on both hands. It turned out to be his 179th and final Grand Prix, with the Frenchman going on to compete in the IndyCar Series in America, taking 6 podiums and 3 poles over the course of 4 seasons. On Friday, he will return to a Formula One car following an invite from his former team Haas, with whom he spent 5 seasons competing between 2016 and 2020, when he drives the VF23 in a testing of previous car TPC test. Haas team principal Io Komatsu, who was Grosjean's race engineer when they worked together at Lotus, will once again serve as his race engineer at Mugello. I'm absolutely thrilled to be welcoming Romain Grosjean back into a Formula One car for the first time in 5 years, but especially proud he's returning in one of our cars. It's only fitting, said Komatsu. Romain and I have worked together throughout his entire Formula One career, so this test at Mugello is of particular significance to us both. I'm delighted he embraced. I'd expect nothing less, not least as we've talked about making this happen for a long time now, Grosjean added. I'm incredibly grateful to Gene Haas and to Io Komatsu for inviting me to participate in the TPC at Mugello. To say I'm excited to get back behind the wheel of a Formula One car would naturally be an understatement. I really can't believe it's been almost 5 years, but to come back and have this outing with my old team is truly something special. I'm excited to see everyone. I'm sure we'll spend a bit of time reminiscing about the old days, but I'm also keen to be of use regarding the trackside agenda with the VF23. It's great the team now has the TPC program as part of its ongoing development. Finally, my kids had designed my helmet for what was meant to be my final Grand Prix in Abu Dhabi back in 2020. I'm at last going to be able to give it a go in a Formula One car on Friday. Ex-IndyCar driver and F1 TV broadcaster James Hinchcliffe will get his first chance to drive a Formula One car on Friday when he drives the same VF23 as part of a feature for F1 TV. Grosjean to drive F1 car for first time since 2020 Bahrain GP crash and special outing with Haas 5 years on from their curtailed last race together. There will be a special reunion for Romain Grosjean and Haas this week. Romain Grosjean will drive a Formula One car for the first time since his dramatic crash in the 2020 Bahrain Grand Prix when he gets behind the wheel of a 2020. I'd expect nothing less, not least as we've talked about making this happen for a long time now, Grosjean added. I'm incredibly grateful to Gene Haas and to Io Komatsu for inviting me to participate in the TPC at Mugello. To say I'm excited to get back behind the wheel of a Formula One car would naturally be an understatement. I really can't believe it's been almost 5 years, but to come back and have this outing with my old team is truly something special. I'm excited to see everyone. I'm sure we'll spend a bit of time reminiscing about the old days, but I'm also keen to be of use regarding the trackside agenda with the VF23. It's great the team now has the TPC program as part of its ongoing development. Finally, my kids had designed my helmet for what was meant to be my final Grand Prix in Abu Dhabi back in 2020. I'm at last going to be able to give it a go in a Formula One car on Friday. Ex-IndyCar driver and F1 TV broadcaster James Hinchcliffe will get his first chance to drive a Formula One car on Friday when he drives the same VF23 as